All right. It's your girl at What Up Dude podcast, and we're back today. We're going to be covering the FIFA World Cup and all the games thus far with our co host, Ed. So, real quick, we're going to let Ed do his introduction, and then we're going to kick off with the questions and dive right into it, guys.
All right. Well, hello. My name's Eduardo Bojorquez, and I am a pretty hardcore football fan, or as we say here in the States, soccer. Me personally, I am Mexican American, so I do root for both of them. You know, the U.S. and Mexico. I think they both of them have, they were questioned a lot before the tournament, but now it's like, hey, they really both of them have performed pretty well. Mexico a little bit more shaky, I guess, for the first two games, but now, my God, they really have potential. So those are really my top dogs. As for players, I don't specifically have a player that I really follow, but I do enjoy. I enjoy what Messi, Haaland, Mbappe, and like even CR7, like Cristiano Ronaldo have going on. Man, it's like one scores, the other one scores one more, and it's just they keep on setting the bar, and it's impressive, and it's just so great to be a soccer fan right now and enjoying those two players. It's awesome. It's hard for me to say who will win the World Cup because we've just had so many freaking surprises, man. But hey, if I have to choose one, I would stick with either Argentina or France. I think there's no going wrong with any of those, because they're just great. We have Messi going on, we have Mbappe, and not only that, but the squad seems pretty solid.
With this, I know Ed from being stationed on Coronado when I first transferred out to California from Japan. So we've been friends for about 3 years now, and we're going strong. But now we're going to take a deep dive into these FIFA questions that I have for him to see what his perspective is so far. Now here we are asking the questions, so let's take a deep dive. We're going to shoot these questions off two at a time. So the first two questions that I do have are: what is your earliest memory of watching a World Cup match, and how has the tournament changed culturally since you first started following it?
My earliest memory from a World Cup match, that has to be in 2006 while watching the Argentina versus Mexico. Man, I remember the goal, the Maxi Rodriguez goal. It was such an awesome goal. Like, we were all watching it, my family being Mexican, we're all like glued to the TV. And then Maxi just scores a screamer from out of the area, if I remember correctly. He just kicks it, powerful shot, and it goes behind the net. Man, it was such a great goal, but, very unfortunate for us. Like, the entire room just went silent. And, I understand that. So not the happiest memory, but hey, it was awesome. That's a very interesting question, actually. I think that the way it has changed is that now we see a lot more common, people who wouldn't like not follow it normally, I guess. Because back then it was catered more towards already soccer fans, and now it's like, FIFA and the organizers have used social media to just bring a lot of extra people. So now you have more people watching random games and like following random countries, which is great. I feel like a bigger audience is better in my opinion, but yeah, it's different now.
The next two that I have for you are going to be: which specific World Cup tournament do you consider the greatest of all time, and how do you feel the expansion to a 48-team format impacts the tournament?
All right, I have three different answers for that question. If we're talking about just star power, 2006 World Cup is hands down the greatest one. Every team just had stars and stars, man. Like, we had Italy's golden age with Buffon, Pirlo, Nesta, Maldini, just a lot more. We also had France with Malouda, Zidane, Henry, Ribéry. And Brazil, oh my God, Ronaldo, Adriano, Ronaldinho, Kaká. Bro, even the U.S. had great players. They were stacked. They had Dempsey, McBride, and just, I don't know, just stacked. I think that's the greatest one. We're talking about just star power. Now we're talking about best overall football, like the quality in it. That has to be this last World Cup, 2022. It was just so exciting. Just so many iconic matches, just high quality. You know, a lot of the teams that were treated as the underdogs, like Morocco, they woke up and they just executed awesome performances against, like, you know, the big dogs, big named teams. Now, my personal favorite, 2010 holds a special place in my heart, like in South Africa. Man, I still remember the sound of the mythical horns that the fans would use every match, like the Waka Waka song. Just it became a classic. There were also a lot of drama, like that World Cup. Like you had France exploding against their coach. They had the tournament soccer ball flying so unpredictably. It was a nightmare for goalkeepers. So like, and those are just examples. Like everything, in my opinion, everything was great about that World Cup. Even Spain, winning its first World Cup after dominating for like a couple years before that. Man, it was just absolute drama. I actually like this new format. Like, and this is coming from a person that criticized it before. You know, I used to think that, oh my God, they literally got every country out there just, you know, to make more money and whatnot. But hey, like this new format with more teams, it has opened up the door for a lot of, you know, the smaller countries to actually make it. And then you have some countries, like, you know, some countries that are the underdogs actually doing a great job. You know, I'm talking about, you know, Cape Verde, who like are winning the heart of people. And I think it's just awesome. On top of that, it adds another round of direct elimination. So, you know, it just makes everything more exciting. We've already had a couple upsets with Germany. So, I don't know. I'm liking this format. It's really cool. It's really good.
Now that we heard those answers, let's go into our next section of questions, which is going to be our on-field drama and predictions. The first question I do have for you is, who is your ultimate dark horse candidate to make a deep tournament run?
Oh, man. Dark horse question? I don't know. I know I mentioned Cape Verde before, but, you know, and they are making a great story. I just don't know if they're going to be able to go very deep, especially with Argentina, you know, being the rival. If I have to say or call a dark horse, I think that any of the three host nations can actually make it far enough or deeper than what people would normally expect. You know, Canada, US, or Mexico. Like at the beginning stage, they've shown they have, you know, great potential. They've done very good games. You know, again, Mexico a little bit shakier. Sorry to my Mexican people, but, you know, the first two games were shaky. However, the last games, oh my God, it's literally art. So, you know, I think I'll go with them as my dark horse.
The next question for you is going to be, which legendary player do you think cemented their legacy most through the tournament?
Oh yeah, easy. Lionel Messi. Like, bro, have you seen him play? Like, you know, don't get me wrong. Media did its thing. I myself thought, you know, that after 2022, like, he was done. I thought that he went to 2022 already being pretty old. You know, I thought that was his last World Cup. But the man said, no, I'm going to go play in 2026. And playing is what he does best, man. He's just out of this world. Like, I swear to God, he really, you know, is carrying the team. So, you know, I wish I could say the same thing about other players like Cristiano Ronaldo. But, you know, he's not it anymore, you know. He's already pretty, like, his age is showing. And I'm sorry for all the CR7 fans out there, but unless Portugal wins the World Cup, I don't think that like CR7 will be remembered for the World Cup, of course, because nothing's gonna undo what he did at Real Madrid, Manchester, and back in his prime. But like now, it's all about Messi. Mbappe, you can make an argument, but in my opinion, he's not a legend just yet. He's pretty young, and hey, but that's part of the good thing. Like, he got many more World Cups to come, and he can definitely outperform Messi. But I think in the future, right now, Messi's too much. He's too hot right now, like scoring goals and all that stuff, to like even bring Mbappe to the table or the same conversation.
Now, this question, I'm interested to actually hear the answer because for everybody, it's a little different. But what is a single most controversial refereeing decision in World Cup history?
All right, I like this question. Me personally, I don't think that there's a single controversial call, but there's two that are definitely the most controversial calls in World Cup history. So I guess it's story time. Picture this, right? It's 1966, and it is the World Cup final between England and West Germany. Because back then you had West Germany and East Germany. But anyways, it was already in extra time when the English player Geoff Hurst, he shoots the ball and the ball hits the underside of the crossbar, and it bounced down and near the goal line before West Germany cleared it out. However, back then they didn't have no VAR or didn't have any instant replay or any technology that would, make them check or tell the referee if it was a goal or not. However, the referee marked it as a goal. He marked it as a goal, and later on, England would score another one, and they became the champions. Thing is, though, that goal, that first one, that was not a goal. Like after years of like many studies and reconstructions, everything seems to point that the ball never fully crossed the line, and therefore it's not a goal. It's still a very heated debate, like to this day. But like, bro, you literally gave England its only World Cup after that ghost goal. Like, yeah, it sucks. It sucks for West Germany actually. A fun fact about that story too is that after that, like traditionally, a lot of teams like Brazil and Italy and whatnot, they put a star on top of like their shield on the jersey to kind of signify, the World Cup that they have won. England, they do that single star, they put it on it, but the color of the star is usually very, very close to the color of the jersey. Now, of course, it has exceptions. Sometimes they just go all out and like put like a gold star. The English kit or the jersey is usually white, but like more often than not, it's usually like a different type of shade of white, like kind of camouflage it to kind of just hide the fact that they won that World Cup, which is interesting. Now, fast forward 20 years, and it's 1986 in Mexico, and it's the World Cup quarterfinal. You got Argentina versus England, right? In one of the plays, the ball gets rebounded up in the air close to the English net. So you have, the goalkeeper and the Argentinian legend, Diego Armando Maradona, they both jump up to like get the ball. But Diego Armando Maradona, he jumps and with his left hand punches the ball into the goal. The referee misses it. The assistant referee misses it. Like, they all missed the fact that Maradona used his hand to essentially score a goal. And yeah, England would be sent home out of the tournament after that game. Now, if that isn't karma, I don't know what karma is.
And listen, this question is going to be the last question for on-field drama and predictions. So I need a big honest answer for this one. If you could replay any historical World Cup final, which one would it be? I'm really interested to hearing this answer in all honesty. Because again, everybody's answer to this question seems to be different.
I think if I were to replay like any World Cup final, and I'm not talking about just rewatching it because I could do that on YouTube and whatnot, like they're there. I'm talking about just like replaying it, like do it all over again, just the vibe, just everything. I think it would be the 2010 World Cup. Like, like I said before, that World Cup has such a like a great vibe, like just everything around it, like the drama and everything was good. Even that final was awesome in a way that it was Spain's first World Cup after years of dominating. They won the European Cup before 2 years before that, and just everything. And then you had Netherlands too, who once again made it to the final, but they just couldn't win it. That kind of that final was kind of like the place where they're marked as that team who always makes it to the final but never gets it, like the eternal second place. And there's just so much around it too. They went overtime or extra time, and then when Andres Iniesta, like the Spanish player, scored, he removed his shirt and had a message written on his undershirt, and it was for his friend who had passed away. So like it was very emotional. It was very exciting. Lots of drama. Netherlands kept trying for. I think they had a couple minutes left, but Spain won it, and it was such a great World Cup final. I think that's the one. Like I understand that the 2022, like I said before, that was like the best quality and also very dramatic. Like just the game with Mbappe, in Argentina going all out. But hey, man, just personally, I feel that 2010 was a tad bit more emotional.
Now we're going to wrap up into our third category, which is going to be fan culture in the future. Now I'm going to rapid fire and ask these two questions at one time. So if you don't remember, don't be hesitating to ask again. But which country boosts the most passionate and vibrant fans during the tournament? And then what logistical changes do you hope to see in future tournaments hosting bids?
Who has the most passionate and vibrant fans? Argentina, hands down. Just go online, go online and put on YouTube like the reaction in 2022 when they won the World Cup. Man, they're insane. Like literally the entire country stops and they just start celebrating like crazy. It's chaos. It's chaos out in the streets. And it's just insane because they have one of the fiercest like rivalries out there. Like El Clásico, River Plate versus Boca Juniors, like they hate each other. They've literally died for their teams. But that kind of stopped and everyone came together and celebrated. It's awesome, and it happens every World Cup, every game they play. You have the fans bringing out the drums, bringing out the trumpets, and just all kinds of songs. It's awesome, but it's also very chaotic. They also, they formed rivalries against other countries, like against Brazil. They don't like each other, like Argentinians and Brazilians, because they're fighting who's the best in South America. They also hate each other with the English people. And it's wrapped up in like politics and whatnot. So like, yeah, Argentinian fans are literally another thing. I don't know if I'm gonna answer this correctly for like the logistical changes, but I gotta say, like, I do miss the like a single country host for the World Cup. And I get it. It's a challenge now. Like it's about investing millions and millions of dollars. Like it has become a heavier investment. And like sometimes it's not even an investment. Like they lose money, and it's sad, but call me crazy if you want, but I do think that it's more special if you have one country, opening up their culture towards, foreign people. And it's just more special in my opinion. I like it better that way. I know it's going to be like that in 2030 in Saudi Arabia. However, for the future, I don't see how that's going to happen because it's just so expensive to host it. But hey, man, all we can do is hope.
Well, thank you, Ed, for coming on the show. and answering all these questions for us. I really do appreciate it. It was good hearing from you again and seeing you again. I'm glad that you were able to be here with us today, and I've enjoyed your input for the FIFA World Cup. And here's to future podcasting with you, dude. If I have to say anything, I think either Argentina or US is going to go all the way, but we'll see what ends up happening. All right. It's your girl at What Up Dude podcast, and we're back today. We're going to be covering the FIFA World Cup and all the games thus far with our co-host, Ed. So real quick, we're going to let Ed do his introduction, and then we're going to kick off with the questions and dive right into it, guys.
All right. Well, hello. My name's Eduardo Bojorquez, and I am a pretty hardcore football fan, or as we say here in the States, soccer. Me personally, I am Mexican American, so I do root for both of them. You know, the U.S. and Mexico. I think they both of them have, they were questioned a lot before the tournament, but now it's like, hey, they really both of them have performed pretty well. Mexico a little bit more shaky, I guess, with the first two games, but now, my God, they really have potential. So those are really my top dogs, As for players, I don't specifically have a player that I really follow, but I do enjoy. I enjoy what Messi, Haaland, Mbappe, and like even CR7, like Cristiano Ronaldo have going on. Man, it's like one scores, the other one scores one more, and it's just they keep on setting the bar, and it's impressive, and it's just so great to be a soccer fan right now and enjoying those two players. It's awesome. It's hard for me to say who will win the World Cup because we've just had so many freaking surprises, man. But hey, if I have to choose one, I would stick with either Argentina or France. I think there's no going wrong with any of those, because they're just great. We have Messi going on, we have Mbappe, and not only that, but the squad seems pretty solid.
With this, I know Ed from being stationed on Coronado when I first transferred out to California from Japan. So we've been friends for about 3 years now, and we're going strong. But now we're going to take a deep dive into these FIFA questions that I have for him to see what his perspective is so far. Now,